Welcome to the 14th of February, when we once again celebrate Valentine's Day. You could say it is a little bit like Christmas. Only that you witness red heart-shaped balloons everywhere you go instead of Christmas decoration. And presents are mostly roses. And just like Christmas stands for togetherness and unity between family members, Valentine's Day rather represents love or merely romance between lovers or partners. On the other side, apart from togetherness and romance, Christmas and Valentine's Day do also have a common shadow side, which will be discussed later on. For now, I want to take you back in history to examine where the term Valentine's Day or the 14th of February originates from. Valentine's Day is based upon several Christian martyrs whose names were Valentine. The two most famous ones were Valentine of Rome and Valentine of Terni. The first one, Valentine of Rome, was a priest and therefore eligible to conduct weddings. But back then, not everyone had the permission to marry. Soldiers who were not allowed to marry, and Christians who were pursued. And those priests, first and foremost Valentine of Rome, defied this regulation and married those groups. As a consequence, he was prosecuted for his action, what is being expressed with the term martyrdom. More precisely, that happened on the 14th of February, 269, Anno Domini. First, in 496 though, Pope Gelasius I established the feast of Saint Valentine to honor Valentine of Rome. Incidentally, the expression "your Valentine" is rooted in the legend according to which he restored sight to the blind daughter of his judge, and right before the execution he wrote a letter to her, signed with "Your Valentine." Additionally, the association with romance was added later in the 14th century and commercialized throughout 18th and 19th century. With that said, I want to come back to the here and now, because Valentine's Day has created some misunderstandings over time, or rather, humanity has created them. A day with special appreciation and affection toward the person we love the most is nothing bad at all, it is something great. But when we link that with a certain date, we do nothing else than loving the day and not the person. We do so because of the subliminal condition. If it's the 14th of February, then I love someone more than I would do on the 12th of February. I mean, what would happen if you verbalized this subliminally ingrained pattern toward your partner? Hey darling, today on the 15th of February, I love you a little less, because today is not Valentine's Day. But don't get me wrong, the idea of Valentine's Day, disregarding the commercial aspect, is actually a good one. It reminds us how love can feel, what it can look like, and most importantly, what ought to happen on 360 more days within a year. We should maintain our behavior with the beneficent actions on that day, but to phase out any programming around this date, we should also extend that onto the other days. Use this day to receive inspiration for the future, not concentrate everything on one day. However, what I talked about until now only comprises a circumstance that you're together with someone physically. In this aspect, the commercial misuse of Valentine's Day turns out to be quite fatal. What namely happens to those who are single? Those actions like to raise the thought that it is a day for couples only, indirectly even exclaiming that singles have no right to exist then. Once again, no one says it directly, though some may feel that way. And as a result, some very highly destructive patterns rise forth. Once in the form of thought, like, yet again I'm alone on this day, I'm such a loser, such a disgrace. Or alternatively, in the form of actions, while binding oneself to someone else only for the sake of not being alone. But in truth, those people who really loathe being alone are the loneliest ones. Binding yourself to someone else out of urge or pressure lets you end up as truly lonely and thus makes no one happy. But exactly this tendency is being revealed every year over and over again. The tendency that there is nothing more than romantic and erotic love. And commercials do even fortify that picture. Like the saying goes, advertisers gonna advertise. So we need to learn how to deal with the situation. The situation that thousands of people hold up in their rooms and pray that the day shifts. Believe me, once I was just like that. It felt hopeless, unfair. Why do they all have partners while I do not? But think about that. All those people who go out there and praise how happy they are on that day. Well, the year includes a couple more days, and what about those? Do those people also gamble through the streets because they're so happy? Or is it just because they are slaves to the one-dimensional view on love? There is so much more than romance and eroticism, so much far beyond the one-dimensionality of tradition. All those feasts we share are not much more than rigid figments of mediocre traditions. But once again, not the traditions are the evil, rather how we handle them. Be it Christmas, Valentine's Day, or even birthday. Letter even dedicates a whole day only to us. But why would you be more valuable on the date you were born? But the truth is, you're invaluable even when it's not your birthday. You're loved even when it's not Valentine's Day or when you're alone on that date. And you can enjoy togetherness and unity under shining lights even when it's not Christmas. Anyway, coming back to the occasion. Even if you're not together with someone right now, there are still other forms of love to be cherished and rejoiced. For instance, love of neighbor. Give love to those who need it. And this in return will benefit both of you and simultaneously bring you way closer to the actual principle behind true love, which is a combination of all ways of loving someone. Analogously, you can nurture self-love. Because true love, after all, implies also that you don't need anyone to love you, because you're your own greatest lover. And at the same time, this will bring you closer to an actual physical relationship. A true relationship beyond this urge to not be alone. You need to know, namely, a relationship is nothing that falls into your lap. It is something you attract. Life in general works that way. Life is a response to the things you send out. The things you experience are a mirror to within. So when you want to achieve a mature, blissful connection, don't look on the outside. In fact, that is what many are doing, especially on the 14th of February. So start within and love yourself, because then such a relationship in the physical is the universal consequence. That's basically what I wanted to say, and never forget. Being alone does not at all imply being lonely. There are people out there being way lonelier, even though they're within a relationship with someone else. It is a matter of fact that there is someone out there for everyone. Everyone has its perfect match. Every Jack has his Jill, and according to that, it's just a matter of time of how long it takes to attract them. The more you are able to consistently nurture self-love, maturely, not egoistically, the faster you will be together. So above all, use Valentine's Day to love yourself, and you will see how things will shift around you. So however, thank you kindly for watching. When you're happy already, congratulations. If not, there are better times coming, believe me. Thanks and happy Valentine's Day.